the two things that I want to show you guys over here, examples. Number one, allow ICMP to be inspected so that ICMP return traffic is allowed. Okay, let's do this first. Let me ask you this. This is our topology over here. Can this guy ping the outside? I'm inside. It's high. This is low. Yes, no? Yeah, right now by default. It won't. With an outside ACL. No, I'm talking about default without using an ACL. So right now, if I go to router 6, which is on the inside, I try to ping 20.5, it's not going to work. Although I can telnet it, why doesn't it work? Although the traffic goes from in to out, what is inspected by default? Inspected by default is in the implicit inspection, TCP and UDP. It does not inspect ICMP, so the return traffic is not created. Yes, you're right. I could create an ACL to allow it explicitly. I don't want to do that. All right. So that's where I can go in, because ICMP is classified. It's just not inspected. No action is taken on it. Take a look at that. I want you guys to see that as well. Remember what I said when I said over here in the class map match default inspection traffic? What does it classify? Does it classify ICMP? Take a look. ICMP is classified, but no action is taken. Okay, because no action is taken, it's not inspected. But if I wanted to, I could technically go into what? My global policy, call the class inspection default, which is already called. I'll just add inspect ICMP over there. When I inspect ICMP for the class inspection default, now my policy map does have inspect ICMP over there because I explicitly put it there. You get my point. If you do the inspection of ICMP as well, your return traffic will be allowed without using an ACL. This policy map is global underscore policy is applied automatically. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm adding another inspection to it. So now that I've done that, if I go over here, remember this ping didn't work a minute ago. Now, because the inspection is there, if I try to do the same ping, it is working. How's it working? Because I've added what? Inspection of ICMP. It was always classified. It was never inspected by default. So the only thing that I had to do, I'll put the statement over here as well. ICMP is classified by default in the inspection underscore default class map. No action is taken by default. If you want return ICMP traffic to be allowed, you can inspect it. Errors shows you like unreachables and timeouts and all those type of things. Especially destination unreachable, those type of things will come back. Otherwise, just a timeout. You want ICMP traffic to be allowed, you can inspect it. So how do I do it? It's already inspected. All I got to do, sorry, it's already classified. All I got to do is inspect it. Where do I inspect it? Policy map, the default one called global underscore policy. Call the inspection default class map where I am already classified. All I got to do is inspect ICMP. How is it applied? Is the global policy applied? Absolutely, it's applied. It's done through a command called service policy. You take a look at the show run for service policy, you will see that service policy called global underscore policy, which is this guy, is applied globally. Globally means for all traffic, in, out, in, all the traffic. So the inspection will be done. The thing that you need to understand is inspection only inspects return, creates the entry for the return traffic. The initial traffic needs to be allowed. So the reason it's working right now is I'm going from what? High to low. So my action on high to low is allowed. So the traffic is allowed. If it's allowed, then and only then will I do the inspection to create what? Return traffic. Now that I've done the inspect ICMP, does that mean traffic from out to in will be allowed? No, the first thing it checks whether low to high is allowed. If it's not allowed, is there an ACL over there? No, it's not. So it's not, this is not going to create the initial entry, it's creating the return entry. If this was allowed, the return entry would be created. You get my point. So don't think that inspect ICMP allows traffic from out to in. Inspect ICMP is to create the return entry. And as I said earlier on as well, Jilani, that for every one of them, it works differently, right? So for example, ESMTP is not for return traffic, it's for initial traffic. So if somebody is trying to send you a command that is not in the list, it's going to block it. So for that, inspect ESMTP is for the initial entry. FTP is creating a brand new entry. So every protocol, it works differently. So I don't want to give you a blanket statement that says inspect ICMP is to allow return traffic, because in the other protocols, it might be working differently. Clear?